Kızım seni Ali'ye vereyim mi? Kızım seni Ali'ye vereyim mi?
İstemem babacığım, istemem.
Many years ago, when I started teaching this beautiful feminine dance, I realized that as in ballet, where they have the 5-foot positions, there could be body positions in this dance form that would form a basis for the beginner to lean on. So what we're going to do is start with those body positions, but we're going to add something else first. To me, this is the most feminine dance a woman can do, the most feminine. And because of the femininity, we're just going to start with wrist and arm movements and exercises, and then go into those 9 body positions. And I think we're ready to begin. Let's bring the arms into a prayer position and lift the elbows. Keep lifting them until you feel a little stretch in through the wrist area. Good. And now, the back of the palms, pushing the elbows downward. So what we're working on are extreme angles to the wrist. Let's bring the arms out to the sides. Now, by angle, I'm not doing this. I'm doing this, even more. Okay, and bring the arms, the fingers toward me, please. Bring the fingers up and turn the fingers out. Notice the angle of the wrists again, down, forward, up, and out. Down, forward, up, and out. Now down as if you're grabbing some air, and as you turn, you're pushing the air out. You're grabbing the air and turning it out. Notice I'm doing this with my arms high, as well as lower down. With one arm up and the other arm leading down again with those wrist circles. Look, complete circle of the wrist. Notice my index finger is slightly lifted. Doing the circles. And again, the hand position is not like this. It's not like this. It's a soft, natural look with the index finger slightly lifted. There we go. Notice when I bring the arms up, my shoulders are down. The wrists are touching, and now look, when I bring the hands down, when I bring them up. Good, very nice. I'm going to go through those 9 body positions quite quickly, and then we're going to proceed from there, but here's shoulder slant. Back to center, watch your posture, shoulder slant. Now, add a beautiful hand movement over to the right, over to the left, both hands. Look at the wrists. Shoulder slant is what we're doing right now. Let's add a little shoulder movement here, forward and back. Notice I'm not moving my hands forward and back, just my shoulders. And again, I'm adding that to the shoulder slant, way down to each side. Good. Next body position, shoulder slide. When you bring your shoulder out to the side, instead of dropping it like this, I'm keeping it up. If I were to let go, it would be like this. Now, when you're doing this, you'll notice your rib cage is also sliding from side to side. Shoulder slide. As you go out, lift a little bit. Free that rib cage. Let's do that with the arms at various levels. Again, this is shoulder slide. Notice the rounded arms, rounded elbows, shoulder slide, and try to keep that round curve as high up as possible. Try not to straighten your arm as you go up. Look at the highness of that curve. Good, good. Next body position we're going to cover with the feet a little bit apart. Tuck in. Bend the knees. I call this pelvic tilt. What else? And now shoulder tilt. Straight back. Pelvic tilt. Shoulder tilt. A little deeper on the pelvic tilt. A little deeper on the shoulder tilt. Come up with a rounded back. Pelvic tilt again, hold. I want you to come up as if a string is pulling you up from your rib cage. Let's do that again. From here, up. Okay, with the pelvic tilt and the shoulder tilt, I'd like you to raise your right heel and bring your feet close together. Keep the right heel up. This is a glamorous position for the feet to be in. Your left knee should be relaxed, not locked. Again, shoulder tilt, pelvic tilt. Shoulder tilt, pelvic tilt. Good. There we go. So those movements are usually teach in pairs. Pelvic tilt, shoulder tilt. Now, with the rib cage forward, arch. As if you're on a diving board, my rib cage is extended. Now I want you to curve your spine like the letter C, bend your knees, tuck in, the pelvis is forward, the shoulders are forward. That's contraction. Here's arch. Here's contraction. Notice I'm adding a hand movement, a wrist angle. Here we go. Contract. Arch. Contract. Arch. Now, once you've gotten used to bringing your rib cage in and out, let's do it without the lower part of the body moving, just the rib cage in, out. In, out, in, out, in to your right, in to your left. So it's curved out. Forward again, in. Side, forward, side, in, around. Notice I'm doing a faster accent when I'm in the position where my rib cage is in. I'm going like that. Like that in position, in is kind of pushing the movement. Other way. Let's do a beautiful final pose. Very nice. To continue with the 9 body positions, feet a little bit apart, knees relaxed. Hip slide. I want you to know that later on we're going to take these 9 body positions and shimmy in each one of them. Yes, indeed. Hip slide. This leads to many undulations in the dance. Let's hold the hip slide to the right, pelvic tilt, hip slide to the left, shoulder tilt. And what do we have here? We have a hip circle, a very basic hip circle. Notice I'm giving the hip circle a little extra accent. Now hold to your left. Instead of coming forward, let's go back. Later on, we'll work on so many of the beautiful variations in that movement. So we did hip slides. Now, with your feet together again, lift your right heel, lift your rib cage. Left knee has to be loose. Bring your hips straight up. I call this position side waist contraction. Notice I'm not moving my upper body, I'm not moving my shoulders. Now I'm going to change the quality of the movement. That's it, I want to hear those jingly coins. Now, no matter how frantically the hips may move, the arms still remain soft and feminine. It's the femininity that I stress in my technique. Let's do the left side. Notice I'm not moving my shoulders. Toward the hip and away from this. A little sharper. Let's go back to the right side, side waist contraction again. What goes up must come down. So, beautiful arms again, beautiful feminine hands. Notice the wrist angle, extreme femininity. Other side. Let's stay with that. Now, I am bringing my hip into a real forward position, but notice I haven't turned my shoulders at all. Now, in that forward position, the hip is up, and I'm going to drop it. I'm going back and forth from that twisted position to straight. One, two, and 1 and 2. I want to see that real twist. Let's do the other side. Lift your right hip. Forward, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Again, beautiful arms. Now I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have the final position. The torture is over. I'm joking. Out, out. This is important. This is called hip extension. Again, beautiful arms, and lots of creativity can enter into the picture when you use your arms beautifully and gracefully. You have to keep your other knee loose. You can't lock it or you won't be able to move that hip. I'm getting a lot of movement in that hip, and what I'm doing also is a little slide to the side to have a more beautiful line to the hip. Instead of here, I'm moving away from the hip, not toward it, but away from it. I'm still keeping that right heel up. Pelvic tilt, hip extension, shoulder tilt. So now you're doing a smaller circle in the hip extension position. And here's how it looks with a shimmy. But that comes later. Let's add a little rhythm to this. I'm just adding a very gentle bounce to the knees. What I'm doing from that position, I'm going back and into the hip extension, forward, we've gone through the 9 body positions. Remember your posture. Come up and releve for a minute and down. Releve and down. Releve, move forward and down. Releve, move forward. Good. Head down, head up and way back. These are just a few little extra asides. To the side, almost like your ear is touching your shoulder, and then around in a circle in one direction 2 or 3 times, and then around in the other direction 2 or 3 times. Good. We're going to have a little livelier music now, and we're going to still relate to those body positions in ways you never dreamed possible. Remember those beautiful hands? Remember the circles? Let's make a snake hand. Look. Fingers, hand. Fingers, hand. Fingers, hand. I'm doing a step into that hip extension position. When I step down, it's like I'm sinking into the sands of the Nile. So I'm not just going like this. I'm going vroom. Let's add a little shoulder shimmy. All right, hold the position. I'm going to get more into shimmies on our second hour, but what I'm doing in the hip extension position is a swivel shimmy. But the hip is way up. Let's do the same thing on the other side. How about both? Okay, let's hold the hip extension to the right. As soon as you step down, I want you to get into the hip extension on your left like this. But the hip is up, way up. Hip extension, and just drop and lift again. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Now we're going to make the movements smaller and faster. And we're going to curve the hips slightly forward. Up, up, out, out. We're adding a little hip circle. On the snake arms, I just want to tell you that the sign of a really polished dancer is how high she can bring her arm and still have that curve to the elbow. Many dancers will start like that and end up like this. But I want you to see how high, no matter how much it hurts, you can bring your arm up in that gentle curve. Other side. Okay, remember the shoulder slide we did earlier? Slide, lift, slide, lift. Let's do a twist. We're on the right side now. I'm starting this twist with my foot turned slightly out and then in. Look at the ball of my foot. I'm turning on the ball of the foot as well as the hip, and the hip is up. Let's do the right side. Right side. Left side. This is my right, your left. Oh, we'll get to that later, sorry. Let's do the hip slide with a little jerking movement. Sharp. Pretty arms again, beautiful feminine arms. That's the key to my technique, total femininity. And that's why I do not allow men into my class. Keep going. I'm going to come forward a little bit and do it again. Keep going. Keep going. Let me see you do it. Now look, look, look, look, look, look. Instead of staring straight ahead, look at the hip on each side. Good. Any questions? We are continuing based on those 9 body positions. Okay, let's try just walking to the music. Right heel up, let's go, and. All I'm doing is walking, but I'm not walking leading with my heels. I'm walking with the ball of the foot touching the floor first. Again, those beautiful feminine arms. I don't allow men in my classes because I wouldn't want to see a man doing this. Now I'm bringing the right foot forward step and back step. Wrists, I'm leading with the bent wrist. 1, 2, 3. Same step, different arms. I'm still leading with the bent wrist.